Okay. Yeah. Uh, Once again, a very good morning and thanks for joining. Okay. In continuous to yesterday's session. Okay. In continuous to yesterday's session, what we are going to discuss today means these are the major seven concepts. Our first focus will be these are the main seven concepts: clean pace, dirty pace, wall concept, checkpoint, lacerator, asset properties, eager writer. Let's focus first this seven concepts. Out of this, very important for interview point of view is dirty pace, checkpoint, lacerator. Rare case, they may ask about the asset properties. Rare case, they may also ask about the eager writer. So all are very important in terms of interview, in terms of technical, okay, in terms of process also. These are very important. So now let's talk again back to our concept. We already discussed, you remember, we discussed about whenever you're going to perform the select statement. So when you're going to perform the select statement, what will happen? Okay, first it will go to the data cache. If any data is available, it will try to get the data and sends to user. If not, it will get the data from the MDF, NDF, and it will place the data in the data cache, and it will send data to the user. It will send data to the user. Okay, once the select statement is completed, these pages are still in the buffer only. These pages are still in the buffer. Now, these pages technically we'll call it as a clean page. When you perform the select statement, all the pages will be clean pages because you are just reading the data. You are not doing any modification. You are not doing any modification. But assume you are doing some modification like inserts, updates, delete. Now, how this internal hierarchy will work? That's what. Again, I am not talking much about relational engine. You already know. It will check the syntax checks. It will check the semantic checks. It will prepare the query tree. It will prepare the execution plan. It will go to the executor. Executor will send a request to the access method. Access method sends request to the buffer. Okay, buffer manager. Buffer manager sends request to the buffer pools. Buffer pool contains the data cache, parent cache, log cache. N number of caches are available. Now, our main first focus will be data cache. Our our main focus will be data cache. So everyone remember the SQL Server architecture diagram, right? Here, the major component in the buffer, one of the major component is data cache. One of the major component is data cache, which is the most consumer because it is going to keep all your pages. It is going to keep all the pages. For example, when you are performing insert, update, delete. So what exactly it will do internally means, see, for example, assume there is no is here currently. Okay. Now what SQL will do? SQL will first go to the MDF file or NDF file, get the pages. So how it will get the pages? That is what your question. So you already know. So first it will go to the PFS page, then it will go to the GAM page. Okay, the sequence. So first it will go and verify any already the pages are available for respect to employee table, and if the pages are available, if there is a space, it will try to copy those files to the data cache. Assume I don't have any spaces, there is no free spaces as well. Now it will go to the GAM page and let's try to get the extents creation. So GAM page will start creating the extents for this employee table and it will try to copy the pages. See, extents concepts will be available only in the MDF NDF. There is no concept called data cache. In the data cache, there is no concept called extend. Extents will be available only in the data cache. Sorry, extents are concept will be available in only the physical files. There is no concept called in the RAM. Now, once the extents is created, what do you mean by extend? Extend is nothing but the pages, data pages. Now those databases will copy from the MDF or NDF to the data cache. MDF or NDF to the data cache. Till now it's clear, sir, everyone. What it will do? It will try to go to the database and get the pages for your operation. The pages for your operation. Now these pages are still is a clean page only because we haven't modified anything. It just to getting ready. So to perform this insert operation, we need n number of resources. To perform this operation, to perform updates, to perform delete, we need n number of operations, right? Out of that, page is also one part. Now it copied all the pages to the cache. Now all the pages are ready. Everything is ready. Now it need to execute only. So once it got it done to execute, once SQL Server start executing this query, insert, okay, or update or delete. Now what will happen internally? It will start modifying the data. It will start modifying the data. Once it start modifying the data, now these pages will call it as a dirty pages. These pages will call it as a dirty pages. The pages which are modified in the buffer, which is not yet moved to the MDF file, those pages technically will call it as a dirty pages. The pages which are modified in the buffer but not yet moved to the MDF file, those files will call it as a dirty pages. The pages which are not yet modified means the pages which you just copied to perform reads, okay, to perform reads, for example, to perform reads you just copied, but you haven't modified. Those pages technically will call it as a clean page. The page, once you start modifying the data, okay, once you start modifying the data, then those pages technically will call it as a dirty pages. For your better understanding, okay, what is dirty page means? Whatever the data in the cache, whatever the data in the MDF or NDF, both are not matching. Means you have done some modification in the cache. You perform some modification in the cache because you can't do any modification on the MDF file, NDF file directly. You can't do any modification in the MDF or NDF file in the data files. Simple for your understanding. In the data files, you can't do any direct modification. You can't do any direct modification. Now, if the data is not matching between your data files and the cache, then those pages also you can call it as a dirty pages only. If the data is matching here and there, that place we will technically call it as a clean page. Either when you perform the select statement, all will be the clean pages only. When you perform select statement, all the pages will be the clean pages only because you are just reading the data, you are not modifying the data. But when you are going to start modifying the data, same page technically we'll call it as a dirty pages because whatever the data in the MDF file, whatever the data in the cache, both are not matching. Both are not matching. Something you done the changes. So that's the reason we are technically calling as a dirty pages. How I can get this information, Subbu? How many clean pages are available? How many dirty pages are available in SQL Server with respect to my database means, okay, there is a DMV, technically we'll call it as a dynamic management views. Okay. So what is the DMV? DM underscore OS underscore buffer underscore descriptor. Using this DMV, we can get to know how many dirty pages are available, how many clean pages are available in the cache. Got it, everyone? No? Yes? Very, very important dirty page. It's a very technical interview question. Please make a note down. The page which is modified in the buffer but still not yet moved to the MDF file, those pages will call it as a dirty page, or you can call it as a whatever the data in the page is not matching with the data file and cache, then those pages also will call it as a dirty page. There is no concept called dirty page in the MDF or NDF or LDF. Dirty page concept will be available only in the data cache. Dirty page concept will be available only in the data cache. Extend concept will be available only in the MDF file. There is no concept called in the data cache. 1 second, sir. Is it clear, everyone? First two clean page and dirty page? No? Yes?
Yes. Uh, I, I have
Yes,
one.
yes, yes, Subbu.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great. You are asking.
yeah. When these pages get copied in the buffer, I mean, in the plan cache, is there any terminology, or it is just a page, get copied, like the dirty page, or the clean page?
See, basically, if you're not performing anything, SQL won't do. SQL will sit idly, right?
Right.
Correct? If you're not doing. When you just start working, when you just start doing something, some action, either
Mm-hmm.
it can be create, it can be insert, it can be update, it can be select, then SQL Server need to give some data for your operation, right? Yes.
Right.
So how SQL is doing in the form of pages only. Basically, our data is storing in the form of pages. Now, what SQL will do? SQL first will go to the cache, verify
Mm-hmm.
whether any data is available. See, first SQL Server try to locate the pages in the buffer cache. If pages already available, okay, if pages are available, that then it will use the same page. It won't copy anything. Okay. If it
Right.
does not find the page, SQL Server will get that page from the disk into the buffer cache. Why, Subbu? Why means always make a note down. Okay, disk is nothing but physical I/O. Okay, when you are performing any operation from the disk, it's like a physical. It will impact the performance. Okay, so cache is the logical. Okay, cache is the logical, which will give the better performance. So,
Right.
in terms of performance, also when we are troubleshooting advanced performance tuning, so I will show you whether your data is getting from the physical, your data is getting from the logical. See, we can check. Subbu, is there any algorithm where we can go and check how our data is getting, whether it is getting from physically, whether it is getting from logical? Yes, we can check it. Okay, we can check it. That much will deeper when deep dive when we are discussing performance tuning. No worries on that part. Now try to understand here. First, what it if it does not find the page, SQL Server will get the page from the disk into the buffer cache. This page is known as the clean page. Okay, while it is copying Subbu, what is the status? Okay, there is a concept called again latch. The old batch, okay, we are going to discuss latch today. You will get to know Girish, but the new batch, no worries, we will discuss in the advanced level. Okay, again there is a concept called latch. There is a concept called lock. It is doing it is doing many things are in the background. I am not talking that much deeper right away. Only high level I am talking means uh, in, sorry, in general how SQL Server is working. But this is only one thing, Subbu, I need to remember. No, when I talk on the advanced level, again I will come back here. What is happening? SQL Server will acquire a lock on the pages. SQL Server will apply the latch on the memory. There is a concept in the memory. There is a concept called latches. In the table level, there is a concept called lock. So, what sort of operation you are performing? What sort of locks it is placing? What sort of latches it is placing? There is a concept called page latch. There is a concept called latch. There is a concept called page IO latches. What do you mean by that latches? We wanted to know. So as of now, don't think that much. Okay, everyone will talk that concept in the advanced level. Just now, for now, what we want to do, this page is not known as a clean page because it doesn't contains any changes. Until unless you make any changes only, there is a concept called dirty page. If you are not making any changes, it's like a clean page only. See, SQL Server acquire a lock on the page level, row level, key level, and perform the updates to the records. So it's not simply going and doing modifications. It is doing n number of other activities. Like it will acquire a lock on the DB level, table level, row level, page level, key level, row level, either key level or row level. So it is acquiring a lock and then it is start modifying the data. The modified page is known as the dirty page. The modified page means once you start modifying the data, Those pages technically we'll call it as a dirty pages. How I can check to know that dirty pages means using dm underscore os underscore buffer underscore descriptor. I can check the dirty page and clean page. Now, okay, the job is done. No, so it creates the log records. Okay, for the changes whatever you've done, the changes whatever you are making parallelly, it is creating a log record for us. Internally, it is also creating a log records. Okay, describing the changes made, what changes you made, right? It is also creating a log records in the background. See, there is a concept called dirty page. There is a concept called log records, which is in the buffer. Still in the buffer, you are doing some modifications, sir. Where is it? Sorry. Suddenly my mouse will disappear. Hey, come on here. Yeah, here, here. Sorry. See, I told you, right? For example, you are going to perform the changes. The changes is logged in the page. Like say, it is going to create the log records. Log records. This is one log record. This is one log record. This is one log record. What you are going to do? That makes the log records in the form of log records. In the log cache, there is no concept called dirty page. Only in the data cache, only the concept called dirty page. In the log cache, it is like a log record. It is like a log record. Now it is logging as a log record here. Okay, whatever the changes it is writing as a dirty page in the data pages, and we are calling as a dirty pages. Same, it is making a note in the log cache in the form of log records. Parallel, it is doing here. It is also doing here to protect our data, to protect our changes, because you remember everything you are doing in the cache, correct? Suddenly, if operating system corrupted, we are gone. Everything, whatever you've done is still in cache only. It is not yet moved to the MDF file. MDF file is like a physical. Permanently, you are storing your data. This is cache, nothing but temporary, sir. If suddenly something happened, we are gone. So to protect how Microsoft is protecting our data, so parallelly it is writing the data, it is preparing the log records, and there is one thread, log writer thread. Okay, log writer thread. If you open sp underscore Utu, okay, we can check the process, how many processes are running. There is a thread called log writer thread. See, log writer thread, log writer thread. Okay, this log writer thread is going to taken care. This log writer thread is going to taken care to write the log records from cache to LDF file. Cache to LDF file. So this is what is happening, sir, basically. Okay, let's delete this one to understand better understanding. Okay, whatever the changes you are making, those changes are registering in the data cache. Those changes are converting in the form of log records, and from the log cache log records, it is moving to the LDF file. Before it move to the MDF file, all the changes, whatever the changes you are going to perform, all the changes, first it will log to the LDF file, not to the MDF file. MDF still, it is not yet logged. So all the changes parallelly, it is logging to the log file. That concept technically we are calling as a log hardening. Log hardening. Okay. So Microsoft is going to harden your changes into the log file to fulfill WAL concept. WAL. There is a concept called WAL. Write ahead logging. Write ahead logging means whatever the changes you are going to perform, all the changes need to register in the log file before it go to the MDF file to recover the data. If suddenly something happened, we can recover the data. We can recover the data with the help of LDF file. With LDF file, we can recover the data if suddenly something happened to the SQL engine. Getting my point? Stop me. Clarify all your doubts. Okay, everyone. Everyone, I'm saying, whenever you are making any changes, what is happening internally? Internally, it start modifying the data in the data pages. in the data cache. Parallelly, it is also converting those in the form of log records. Okay. And whatever the log records it is generating, all the log records are writing to the log file with the background process called log writer. With the background process called log writer. It is a parallel operation. It is continuously doing. Why it is moving the changes to the LDF file, Subbu, means there is a concept called wall, write ahead logging. There is a concept called wall, write ahead logging. See, where is it? Sorry. See, there is a concept called write ahead logging. Once we make changes to the clean page in the buffer cache, it generates the log records containing details of the modification. Okay, once you start modifying, it is also parallelly generating the log records. SQL Server write all the log records to the disk in the transaction log before the associated dirty page it is flushed to the disk. Before the changes move to the MDF file, all the changes are moving first to the log file. All the changes are moving to the log file. Why, Subbu? Why means this process is known as a write-ahead logging. It ensures the ACID properties. ACID stands for atomicity, consistency, isolation, durability. Now, wall concept will fit for what? Either atomicity, consistency, isolation? No. It's a durability, sir. You need to protect your data. Durability is nothing but protecting. Okay? Your wall concept will for durability. Okay, each having some uniqueness, like atomicity having one uniqueness, consistency having one uniqueness. Isolation is the very lengthy concept, sir. Now I'm going to discuss only 5 to 10 minutes here. But when we are going to discuss advanced performance tuning, I will talk almost 1 hour to 2 hours, 2 hours to 3 hours, only isolation level. This is very important concept. And it is like a little boring concept. You need to bring the Amrutanjan or Jendumam. We can't do anything. One of the boring and one of the vast technical concept. If you want to become strong in the reads, if you want to become the strong in the logs, blockings, deadlocks, you must and should know about the concept called isolation in SQL Server. Is it clear about dirty page, clean page, wall concept?
Um, it's just one question. So wall is a kind of background process, we can say, or it is just a concept.
It's a concept.
Concept. Okay.
There is the concept. There is not
Okay.
like when you compare with PostgreSQL, when you compare with Oracle, no, it's just a concept here.
Okay. Okay.
So there is a dedicated process which is running log writer is going to take in care. The log records to move into the LDF file. Yeah.
Okay. So I
Beyond
mean,
your ask. Yeah, sorry.
sorry. I mean, so I can say like it is a concept, and the log writer is helping. I mean, log writer is the background process for this, just to ensure our data will be intact,
Our
right?
data should be hardened.
Okay. Hardened.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can give you one simple example to show you. See, what I'm one second. Okay. Yeah, Brian, meanwhile you can ask the question.
Okay, Subu, I just wanted you to clarify me if I understand what is the meaning of wall. So when modifications take place of the clean pages in the buffer cache, the records of the modifications are transferred to the LDF file. The process of transferring this to the LDF file, which the modifications are locked, is called a wall. Am
That's
I
it, sir.
correct?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Who is going to
Yes.
write? If someone is asking who is going to write, means log writer thread.
Okay, log writer.
Log writer thread.
Okay.
Thread. We here
Log log
in SQL we will call it as a thread, sir. Threads. Okay.
okay.
Threads
Log
process.
log writer thread.
Yes, sir. Log
Oh,
writer thread.
okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Raj, you were asking question. You are clear, Brian?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, Raj.
Yeah, Simbu. in a log LDF, the data will reside or the query reside. Like in Oracle, it's redo log are there, and they contain similar type of architecture, but they contain the queries. And
Here also log record is nothing but this record, sir. This information.
okay,
Okay.
whole inside and that.
Yes. Yes. See, yeah, this is the biggest question most of the people is having. Okay. Up to this, everyone clear, sir. Let's raise a question. Okay. Up to this clear. I will tell one extend. Okay. This upon this one extend. Okay.
Yes.
Up to this, everyone clear. What is dirty paste? What is clean paste? What is wall? Who is going to take and to write into the LDF file? Lavanya, Pratap,
Yes.
Ramesh, Reshma.
Yes, clear.
Okay, great. Wilson. Okay. Yeah. Now see, in the cache, in the MDF file, we discussed about what we discussed. There is a concept called extend. Okay. There is a concept called extend, and there is a concept called pages. Correct? Yes or no? There is a concept called extend. There is a concept called pages. In the log file, there is a concept called log records. Okay, your data is storing in the form of record. This is one record, this is one record, this is one record, but it will directly logged into the LDF file. Subbu, no, for every record, SQL Server will generate the LSN number. LSN, log sequence number. Okay, log sequence number. By using the log sequence number, you can easily track who perform, what change perform, when they perform. Okay, we can track by using a function called fn_dblog. Using fn_dblog, we can easily track fn_dblog. By using fn_dblog function, we can read the log file. Then we will get to know. Okay, so for example, let's go for any other blocks. Okay, when you perform this one, here you will get easy information. What is the current LSN number? What is the operation you perform? Okay, along with who performed. Okay, so when you just modifying this query a lot, sir, we can modify who perform, when they perform, what operation they perform. Easily we can track. Okay, by mistakenly if you perform something, okay, and we are thinking that okay, no one identified, but if we get any doubt, okay, we can track that information by reading the LDF file. When you just start reading the LDF file, we can easily track when you perform, what you perform, who perform, everything we can track when you just start reading the LDF file by using fn_dblog function. Okay, this I'm going to show you practically, not now, sir. Nothing you can't understand. I will talk. The old batch people, right? There is a separate session on replication, right? That time I will show you how to perform fn_dblog function. Okay, is it clear, everyone? No? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Clear.
So
Yes.
we can say LSN is kind of, timestamp
Identifying, yes, identifying purpose, sir.
right?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Tracking purpose, tracking.
Right. Okay.
What changes we are doing, who perform the changes. But this will be little differs when you go to the bulk log recovery model. Okay. I will talk in the bulk log recovery model, sir. After this installation, the first concept we are going to discuss is recovery model. Okay. The concept little vary in the log file. In the log file, rest everything is same. Only it will vary in the log file when you choose your database into bulk log recovery model. It will little vary. What is that vary? Everything also will talk in that concept. Otherwise, it will be traditional only. Means whatever the changes you are going to make, all the changes is writing in the form of in the database. Parallel it is generating the log records, and log writer is continuously writing the data into the LDF file to fulfill wall concept. Means it is hardening your log. In technical terms, it is hardening your log. See, this is for always on availability group, but again, same concept only. Don't think that is something different. Okay. See, for example, you are making the changes. You are making any changes. But first, it will comes to the cache only. Okay. First, it will comes to the cache. Next, immediately, it will harden into the log file. Whatever the changes you are going to perform, those changes will be hardened. So where it is writing, how it is writing also we'll discuss, because we must and should know how log file architecture is working. Okay, so data file is a data file, physical data file. It's a data file is a data. Okay, we no need to think much about the data file, but you need to must and should know about the log file, because log file contains a separate architecture. What is a log file architecture? Like we discussed about SQL Server architecture, right? So we need to also know about how log file architecture is working, what is happening in the background. Okay, everything we must and should know. As of now, I'm not talking that much high level, only simple for your understanding. Whatever the changes you are going to perform, those changes will come to the cache and parallelly it will harden to the log file. Who is going to harden? With help of log writer thread. Your log writer thread is taking responsibility to write the information into the LDF file to satisfy wall concept. Satisfy wall concept. Is it clear, everyone? Yes, no?
Yes.
Now, next question you will get. Next, immediately we'll get one question. Okay, Subbu, now I understood clean page, dirty page, wall concept. Now, my question is, who will move these changes, whatever I'm performing the changes XYZ, okay, 2 ABC, 3 MNC. For example, you are making some changes. Who will move these dirty pages changes to the MDF file? Now, next question, immediately we get this question. Now, for your answer, checkpoint. There is a background process called checkpoint. There is a background process called checkpoint. Here, you will see checkpoint over a checkpoint. There is a background process called checkpoint. There is a background process called lazy writer. Okay. There is a background process called checkpoint. There is a background process called lazy writer. Sir, there are a lot of background process are running. Okay. Out of that, we are going to discuss is one, we discuss about the log writer thread just now. Okay. To write the log records to the LDF file. Now, our main focus will be who will move these changes to the disk. Who will move these changes to the disk? Because until unless your data move to the disk, you can't see the data. See, until unless whatever the changes you've done in the buffer that need to move to the disk, until unless that time you can't see the changes. You can't see any changes whatever the user is performing. It need to move to the disk. Now, how the data is moving? How the data is moving means checkpoint lazy writer. So first we are going to discuss the checkpoint. Okay, checkpoint is an internal process. Checkpoint is a internal process which is running in the background. Checkpoint is an internal process which is running the background. Whenever checkpoint triggers, okay, what is happening, Subbu? What is happening whenever checkpoint is triggered? See, a checkpoint process write all the dirty pages available in the buffer cache, or you can call it as a data cache. Data cache and the log records to the disk. So whenever checkpoint triggers, whatever the dirty pages are available that time, it will move that dirty. Sorry, this is disk, right? This is disk. This is cache. Okay, what it will do whenever checkpoint triggers, whatever the dirty pages are available in the data cache, all the dirty pages will move to the data file, and make these pages as a clean page. Mark these pages as a clean page. Please make a note down. This is also very, very important point. This is also very, very important point. Whenever checkpoint triggers, what it is doing, whatever the changes you are going to, whatever the changes you made it, all the changes will replicate to the disk and mark these pages as a clean page. This is clean page. This become clean page. This become clean page. Checkpoint never flushes the pages. Checkpoint never flushes the pages. Checkpoint just move the data. Whatever the changes you made it, right? all the changes will move to the disk. Now these pages will mark as a clean page. Is it clear? First portion. Is it clear, everyone? Yes, no. What checkpoint is doing? Whenever checkpoint triggers, it will go to the data cache. It identify all the dirty pages and it will move all the data from data cache to the data file and mark the data pages as a dirty pages as a clean page, because checkpoint never flushes the pages from the disk from the buffer. Is it clear? First process.
Yes, Swami.
Everyone, so come on here, we need to be active. Okay, today is 31st. Okay, we need to be active, everyone. 31st also you are taking Subbu class. How we can active? Correct? No, sir. Yeah. Try to understand. Whenever checkpoint triggers, okay, what it will do? It will identify these are the dirty pages. It will try to move the data to the disk and mark these pages as a clean page. Okay, ma'am, you are asking, ma'am, question. No questions? Clear? No. Along with this, okay, yes. Yeah, Brian.
Okay, Subu, I wanted to ask, when it removes the pages from the buffer cache to the
That I
data
will
file.
explain, sir. First, understand what is checkpoint. I will talk more on the next slides. Okay.
Okay, no,
Don't
I
get
understand that. I
yes.
understand.
Okay. Great. Great. Now, along with this, okay, what it will do? Whenever checkpoint is triggered, that time, is there any log record still not yet moved? Okay, still not. See, there is a log writer which is writing, sir. Okay, there is a log writer which is writing. Of course, this is a background process. Assume, okay, whenever checkpoint is triggered, there are couple of records which is not yet moved to the LDF file. So this will take responsibility to move the log records to the LDF file and register and it will register the information in the log file. Okay, by going and reading log file also, we can get to know when was last checkpoint is triggered. When was our last checkpoint is triggered? Okay, so it is moving the log records as well to the LDF file, and it is updating information about the checkpoint when your checkpoint is triggered. That information also in the LDF file. Not only in the LDF file, as I told you, remember, every database contains the boot page. Every database contains the boot page. It will also updating the information in the boot page as well. It will also updating what was the last LSN flushed from log cache to the disk. When was the checkpoint is triggered? It will write the information in the boot page. It will update the information in the log records. Not only moving the dirty records, it is also updating in the log file. It is also updating the boot page. Very, 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 very important point. Everyone getting my point? The checkpoint is doing many things in the background. Checkpoint is doing many things in the background. Many people knows that, okay, checkpoint is just moving the dirty records. Checkpoint is moving the dirty records. Not only moving the dirty records, sir. Not only moving the dirty records, it is also updating the information in the log file. It is also updating the information in the boot page as well. So we can go and verify when was our last checkpoint got triggered. Will you verify this Subbu in real world? No, sir. But as a DBA, we must and should know. I hope you're getting my point. Everyone? No? Yes? So not only moving the dirty records, it is also moving the log records, updating the information in the LDF file, okay, and as well as it is writing some information in the boot page as well. Yesterday I triggered a DBCC DB info in the boot page also. It is registering. It is also registering in the log file, and it is moving the dirty records. So Technically speaking, it is moving the dirty records, sir, not dirty pages, basically. Okay? Technically speaking, if I go for pure technical terms, what checkpoint is doing? Checkpoint is moving the dirty records, not dirty pages. And once the dirty records are moved, then this page is not having any dirty record, then this page technically will called as a clean page. Clear? Umesh, Vasu, Ramesh. Okay, simply listening is not a good ideology, everyone I'm saying. Okay,
So,
simply listening is not a good ideology.
Sorry.
You need to understand the logics. And again, how you are understanding this concept, how you are conveying to the interviewer is very important, sir. If you convey like this, definitely I'm promising you will select.
Subbu,
Yep. Yes, Raju.
it also check for the committed records before
Sorry.
transferring. It's also check for the committed
Oh,
records.
I missed that one. Yeah, thanks for addressing. Yeah, I missed something. I thought there's something I'm missing. Okay, yeah, sorry, sir. Yeah, come on, yeah. Yeah, how I missed. Thanks. Okay, yeah. There is a concept called commit, sir. Okay, I'm so sorry. I missed a big terminal here. Commit. Okay, or rollback. There is a concept called commit. There is a concept called rollback. So before I discuss this one, do you have any questions on what is checkpoint is doing in the background? Everyone, any questions?
Now I got one doubt. What is the difference between log and boot page? Log also having the data when
It's having log records, ma'am. It is just updating the information, ma'am, metadata. Okay, so on so time, last checkpoint has been triggered. So on so time, last LSN has been moved. Okay, that information will be available in the boot page, ma'am. Just metadata. It, nothing is there. Information. Okay, information only there. Where your data log records is available in the log file only, ma'am. Got you? Got, ma'am? Information, ma'am. See, somewhere you will make a note, right? Information, how many students is today attended. You know, okay, your class is having 30 students, okay? But you will take attendance before and you will update finally 30, right? That 30 here you are updating. But
Okay.
all attendance is here. All your attendance is here, but you are just updating 30.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Good, man. Yeah, questions, anyone? This is very important, ma'am. Everyone, sir, everyone. Why I'm spending this much time here itself means you need to understand how the data movement is happening in SQL Server and what is exactly means whenever check if someone is asking what is checkpoint, come on here, you can explain like anything. Now you know much more than most of the people doesn't know, even their experience also. Checkpoint, when checkpoint triggers, it will start writing, or it will first try to identify all the dirty records which are available in the data cache, and it will first try to write. But before it try to write, it will verify the whether the transaction is committed, or not. Please make a note on. I missed this point. Okay, thanks, Raj. Okay, so before it writing the pages, it will verify the commit. Commit. Okay, commit. So commit, sir, means we need to commit means in SQL Server, we are having two kind of transactions. Not only SQL Server, if you go for any database management system, as I know, it will follow two type of transaction. So checkpoint removes that dirty pages. No, checkpoint doesn't remove. Checkpoint doesn't truncate. Okay, there is no concept called remove. There is no concept called truncate, sir. It will just move the dirty records to the disk. That's it. Okay, it doesn't truncate. It doesn't move. Okay, now where I'm, yeah. So every database management system will follow two transactions. Two transactions. One is implicit transaction. One is explicit transaction. Explicit transaction. What do you mean by implicit transaction? Okay, by default, all the DML operation we will discuss in a next upcoming sessions. Okay, like insert, update, delete. By default, all these are implicit transaction, means auto commit. You no need to explicitly perform commits, sir. You no need to do any commit. Automatically, these are commits. Automatically, these are commits. Okay, but same insert, update, delete, same insert, update, delete. If you're writing in the programmatic language, like a begin, okay, end. If you're writing in the programmatic language, same insert, update, delete, these are explicit transactions. Means you need to perform commit. These are explicit transaction. These are implicit transactions. By default, all insert, update, direct, delete or implicit transaction means automatically it will commit. Okay, but same insert, update, delete when you are writing in the programmatic languages like stored procedure functions, like a begin, end. If you're writing same transaction, these are explicit transactions. We need to explicitly commit. Okay, before it move to data to the MDF file, it will validate whether the dirty records has been committed or not. Okay, please add this point, sir. I'm so sorry. Thanks, Raj, once again. Okay, for reminding. This is very important. Algorithms. Somehow I missed it. Yep, got it, everyone. Can I repeat one more time? No? Yes? Sir, in entire
Yes, please
management
repeat.
system, in database management system, there are two transactions. One is implicit transaction, one is explicit transaction. One is implicit transaction, one is explicit transaction. What do you mean by implicit transaction? By default, insert, update, delete are implicit transaction. By default, insert, update, delete are implicit transactions. Means directly commit. You no need to perform anything, sir. It's a direct commit. Okay, but same insert, update, delete when you start writing in the programmatic languages, okay, like a stored procedure functions or begin, end, okay, then this will become as an explicit transaction. Means explicitly you need to pass the parameter called commit. After your operation, you need to pass the commit. You need to pass the commit. You need to pass explicitly commit. So before it moving the data to the MDF file, it will validate whether the dirty record has been committed or not. Only committed changes will move to the MDF file, sir. Please make a note on. Once your data is moved to the MDF file, means blind shot, it's a committed data. Got it? No, it will validate before it moving to the data file. This is about internal algorithms, sir. What is happening whole when checkpoint is triggered. Clear? So I am just overviewing all the things, whatever I told you. Okay. Checkpoint is a background process. Okay. When checkpoint triggers, okay, it will go to the data cache. It will verify how many data records are available, means how many data pages are available, whether all the data pages, all the data records are committed or not. In case if it is committed, it will start moving the data records from cache to the disk. Parallelly, what it will also do, it will also start writing the log records to the LDF file, okay, LDF file, and also update the information in the boot page. Okay, so only add a commit, sir. Only add commit. And just for simplifying, these many things it is doing whenever checkpoint is triggered. When checkpoint is triggered, these many things it is doing, sir. It writes all the records from the buffer cache to the disk LDF file. It will write all the dirty pages, modified pages since last checkpoint to the MDF file. Okay, and it also writes the checkpoint LSN in the database boot page. So that's what I told you, right, ma'am? It just write the information. It is not writing any data in the boot page. Very, very important terminologies. All these are. The first time you are listening, it will be hard, but again, if you keep on watching, definitely one day you will become strong. Okay. Now, okay, Subbu, I understood about the checkpoint high level. Any questions? Can I move next slide? No? Yes?
No, sir.
Sorry. Yeah. Now, see, we are having different varieties of checkpoints in SQL Server. Okay. Let's be in SQL Server, we are having different checkpoints. Okay. We are having different checkpoints. Especially, we are having different checkpoint. One is automatic checkpoint, matic checkpoint. One is indirect checkpoint, one is manual checkpoint, one is internal checkpoint. Okay, so we are having different varieties of checkpoints. Okay, we are having 4 varieties of checkpoint. Okay, we are having 4 varieties of checkpoint. One is automatic checkpoint, one is indirect checkpoint, one is manual checkpoint, one is internal checkpoint. First, let's talk on automatic checkpoint, then we'll talk on rest of the things. Automatic checkpoint is a default checkpoint, sir. Okay, automatic checkpoint is a default checkpoint. Okay, which is the backgroundly it is running. It is, see, checkpoint, automatic checkpoint is an instance level. Please make a note on. It is an instance level feature. Okay, it is validating all the databases. Automatic checkpoint is a instance level feature. Automatic checkpoint is a instance level feature. It is checking for all the databases which are available as part of this instance. Okay, so automatic checkpoints triggers whenever it will examine, okay, the log records are sufficient. Whenever, see, it is a background process in SQL Server and default and most common checkpoint. It's a default mostly used checkpoint, automatic checkpoint, and it is an instance level feature. See, SQL Server continuously checking the number of log records, and once it estimates that number of log records are sufficient to process, it will trigger the and see, this is one algorithm. There is one algorithm, sir. Please make a note on. One algorithm is it will estimate the number of log records. It will estimate the number of log records. Along with it will also check the recovery interval time. See, when this automatic will checkpoint will trigger means everyone will tell that it will trigger for 1 minute, it will trigger for 10 seconds, it will trigger for 2 seconds. You will go to the Google and you will search it. Nowhere Microsoft mentions that this is the time frame automatic checkpoint will trigger. Okay, nowhere Microsoft mentioned. But if you go to the third-party blogs, we can get to know this is the time frame, this is the time frame, that is the time frame. So you will get different time frames. But if someone is asking what is the checkpoint interval time, don't tell the time frame. You need to tell the algorithm. So there is a concept called automatic checkpoint, which is default checkpoint and instance level. Automatic checkpoint will trigger. Checkpoint will trigger when it will estimate the number of log records are sufficient to process. Along with there is a configuration called recovery interval. Okay, if you change the recovery interval time based on this recovery interval time, based on the estimated number of records, your automatic checkpoint will trigger by default. Or where is my cursor? By default, okay, your recovery interval time, if you go to the database setting, by default your recovery interval time is a zero. Okay, you haven't changed it, but don't touch this one again. As per the best practice, you should not touch the recovery interval time. It may leads to run the recovery phase for longer time. Again I will get back this one in the restore concept. When we are discussing restore concept, there is a concept called recovery phase. If you're changing this recovery interval time, it will affect the recovery phase. Okay, it will affect the recovery phase, sir. Please keep that in mind. I will talk more when we are discussing restores. Okay, don't change recovery interval time. Let it be zero only. Means, okay, I am not setting any recovery interval time. What I am telling to SQL, hey, you can estimate and you can trigger the automatic checkpoint. You can estimate, you can trigger the automatic checkpoint. So how automatic checkpoint is triggering? Don't tell that it will run for 2 seconds, it will run for 10 seconds, it will run for 60 seconds, it will run for 2 minutes, every 2 minutes. No, sir. SQL Server will estimate how many log changes you are performing, and it will automatically trigger the checkpoint. It will automatically trigger the checkpoint. When it is triggering the checkpoint, it will also validate whether you have set any recovery interval. But as per the best practices, you should not touch the recovery interval time. Again, I'm repeating, you should not touch the recovery interval time. If you touch the recovery interval time, it may leads, okay, it may impact when your SQL is coming to online. Means, see, when you restart the SQL, it will run the recovery phase. Background, it will run the recovery phase. That recovery phase may affect, sir. That recovery phase may affect. Okay, that recovery phase may affect if you change the recovery interval time. So that is the reason we won't touch the automatic checkpoint. Okay, don't tell any time frame. There is no time frame for automatic checkpoint. Is it clear, everyone? No? Yes. Are you there, online people?
Yes.
Understood, not understood. What is automatic checkpoint, sir? Automatic checkpoint is an instance level. Automatic checkpoint is an instance level and is a default checkpoint. Okay, SQL Server will examine whether log records are sufficient to trigger the checkpoint. It will try to start the trigger the checkpoint, but before it triggering, it will also validate the recovery interval time. Being we not judge the recovery interval time, okay, SQL Server will examine the log records and it will trigger the background. It will trigger the checkpoint. Background, it will trigger the checkpoint. So please, sir, we can modify the recovery interval time using following command. Either you can directly go and change here, or you can use sp-config recovery interval. I will take a separate session for sp-config. That time I will show you, sir. You can change here in the command line. You can also change in the graphical user interface. But you should not play with this until you are highly skilled DB, understand the risk of doing it. Please, sir, that's the reason I added one point. Don't touch the recovery interval, okay? Because as I told you, it make impact when SQL is coming online, okay? It leads to run the recovery phase for longer time. What is the recovery phase, Subbu? That's what. Wait for restore concept. Again, I will come back this one, okay? When you are changing recovery interval time, it may leads to run recovery phase for longer time when your SQL is coming online, when your database is coming online. This is the biggest problem you will may face. So better avoid to change the recovery interval time. If you're changing recovery interval time, we should understand how this automatic checkpoint is working. Okay? Not okay. Yep. No? Yes. Understood? Not understood? About automatic checkpoint, it is a default until SQL Server 2012. Now also it is a default. But now Microsoft introduced one new algorithm. Now Microsoft introduced a new concept that is nothing but indirect checkpoint. Everyone clear about automatic checkpoint? No? Yes, ma'am, you are asking question.
Clear.
It's clear. Sorry, ma'am.
I'm saying it's clear.
Okay, yeah, good. Now, see, now being we are getting little panic to change the recover interval time, Subbu. Can there is any alternative way where if I wanted to change my checkpoint interval time for my database? For my database, I wanted to change. Yes, everyone, using indirect checkpoint. From SQL Server 2012, Microsoft introduced a new checkpoint that is nothing but indirect checkpoint. I don't want to touch the automatic checkpoint, but I can touch the indirect checkpoint. Okay. For my database, I can change. Okay. Now I will go here. I don't want taking the instance level. See, I am not touching the instance level checkpoint. Now what I can do, I will go to the my database. Okay, my database by default. Again, I'm repeating by default. See, by default, I not touch, right? By default, your checkpoint interval time is 0. Okay, it's a 0. Now I can change my checkpoint interval time for my database. Okay, that is nothing but indirect checkpoint. You are not touching automatic checkpoint, sir. You are touching indirect checkpoint. How I can see the indirect checkpoint interval time, Subbu? Okay, when you go for sys.sys databases, it is a catalog. It is a catalog. You need to remember this one, sys.sys databases, which will track completely your database information. On that, it contains the database name, along with there is one column called target recovery time in seconds. Okay, this is nothing but indirect checkpoint. Now, when I run this one, okay, it's a 0. Now you can change it. Now I want to change. Okay, I wanted to change to, okay, for my database, I wanted to change to 60 seconds. Okay, I wanted to change to 60 seconds. Now, happily, you can go and change it as per the best practices. Again, I'm repeating. As per the one of the best practices, you need to educate your application team to enable the indirect checkpoint, not automatic checkpoint. Let it be automatic checkpoint. We don't want touch automatic checkpoint. Now, as a DBA, you can educate your application team. We can enable indirect checkpoint for all the databases which are being part of this instance. That is one of the best practice you can follow. Now, what SQL will do for this database? It will go for indirect checkpoint. Of course, automatic checkpoint is also triggering in the background. Subbu, automatic checkpoint won't trigger for my database? Yes, sir. Because automatic checkpoint is an instance level feature. Let it be triggered, no problem for me. But why I'm triggering checkpoint? Okay, let me first clarify this doubt to everyone. Why I wanted to trigger the checkpoint? I need to move my data as quickly as possible to my MDF file. Okay, I need to move my data as quickly as possible to my MDF file so that my my reports will get the present data. Okay, along with, in case if suddenly something happened, no problem, my data is already moved to the MDF file. Okay, my data is already moving to the MDF file as quickly as possible so that I am protecting my data in the data files. Physically, I wanted to protect, and also many people are pulling the reports. Many people are pulling the reports, right? They can see the latest data. They can see the latest data. If you are moving the data very quickly to the data file, if you are moving the data quickly to the data file, they can see the latest data. So for that, what I am going to do, I am not touching the automatic checkpoint. I am touching the indirect checkpoint. Yeah? No? Yes? Clear, everyone? And one of the best practice, sir, you can educate your application team. Okay, indirect checkpoint you can enable. You can move the data very quickly to the data files rather than relying on the automatic checkpoint. Rather than relying on the automatic checkpoint, you can rely on the indirect checkpoint. Questions? Very important. Again, it is a very important. Okay, no questions? Great. Now, there is a concept called internal checkpoint. Okay, so only for certain actions, sir. Internal checkpoint is for certain actions. Means whenever you are taking the backup, whenever you are taking the snapshot, whenever you are shutdowning the SQL server, okay, when you are adding and removing the files, okay, data files, when you are switching the recovery models, if your recovery model is simple and your log is getting more than 70%, okay, internal checkpoint will trigger automatically. When you are doing certain operations, internal checkpoint will trigger. Okay, when you are doing certain operations, internal checkpoint will trigger, sir. When you are doing certain operations, internal checkpoint will trigger. Is it clear, everyone? So when internal checkpoint will, all these are very important, sir. When you are reading, also make a note down. Backup is very important. Snapshot is very important. Shutdowning is very important. Adding files, removing the files is also very important. Switching the recovery models is very important. In simple recovery model is very important. When being the people who are first time listening, no problem. In the respective concept, I will talk about internal checkpoint. Whenever we are discussing that concept, I will talk about internal checkpoints, sir. As of now, remember only, okay, when you are going to do certain operations, SQL Server is triggering the internal checkpoint. SQL Server will trigger the internal checkpoint. And finally, one and only one thing is manual checkpoint. Nothing very simple. You can just trigger the checkpoint. You can just write the checkpoint and trigger the checkpoint. Okay, this is manual checkpoint. In case if your log file is getting full, in case your log file is getting full due to checkpoint, your log is getting full due to checkpoint. Again, I'm repeating. I will talk this one in the performance tuning, sir. Whenever your log is getting full due to checkpoint or oldest page, you will trigger the manual checkpoint. Or I want to move my data, okay, as quickly. I can also trigger the manual checkpoint. I don't want relay indirect checkpoint. I don't want relay automatic checkpoint. I want to move my data as quickly as possible to the MDF5. Then you can trigger the manual checkpoint, sir, for your simple answer. Okay. Basically, we won't trigger manual checkpoint. Very, very rare case. So indirect checkpoint will taken care. Automatic checkpoint will taken care. Internal checkpoint will taken care in the respective operations. Manual checkpoint, very, very rare case you will trigger. Yes, Raj, you are asking question.
Yeah. So when we run the manual checkpoint, it will run on the instance level or
It's a
the
DB level, sir. It's a DB level. It's a
Okay.
DB level. It's not instance level. Yeah, that's it, sir, for today. I will talk pending concept tomorrow. Any questions? Any questions, anyone? Good. So far, good, everyone? No? Yes? Understand, not understand?
No, so far good, Subu. Good, good. Today, good.
Yeah. Good, good. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Don't disconnect. Okay. Stay back. Let's. Yeah. Once again, everyone, advance wish you happy new year. Okay. From my side, my end. Okay. Please be so safe, everyone. Okay. Enjoy, but please be so safe with you and your family. Okay. Don't roam here and there when you. Please be safe. That's what I can say. Finally. Okay. Kai, are you there?
Thank you. Wish you the same.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Subbu.
Wish you the same to
Happy
all.
New Year to you, Subu.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, advance happy new year to everyone.
Okay, Sai, you wanted to add? Let me stop the recording. Okay. One second.